Hello, my name is Laura, and I would like to present you my art project that I made when I was working in the memorial of the Sachsenhausen concentration camp in August 2020. So my art project is named Les Oubliées in French, which means the forgotten women in English. It is about women who had to work as forced prostitutes in brothels in concentration camps during the Second World War. So when I was working in the memorial, I discovered because it was something I had never heard about at school, on TV, on medias, or anything, that there were in concentration camps during the Second World War some brothels in which some women had to work as sex forced labor prisoners. Maybe you know that there were some brothels for the SS guards, but there were also some brothels for the men, the prisoner, the male prisoner inside the concentration camps. It was not for all the prisoners. So, for example, the Jews and the Soviet prisoner of war couldn't go. So the women who had to work there were used as a motivation to work. So the SS leader Himmler thought that small prisoner would work harder if we promised them sex. So those women didn't have choice to go there. They were chosen by the SS and they had to go there. The SS promised them freedom after half a year of work in the brothels, but in reality it never happened. They were never released. They had to work in really hard conditions with the high risk of transmission of disease. They were sterilized by force before and so on. After the war, the women who had to work in those brothels were stigmatized. The topic had been avoided for decades and it was a taboo topic. So those women who had to keep silence and they ever receive any compensation, any reparation for their sufferings. Still today, this subject is far from being mainstream, and still a lot of people do not know about this and about the fate of all of those women. And that's why I decided to do this art project about this really important subject. So just before finishing my small talk, I just would like to say a few words about this educational program in which I participate and in which I made my art project I just told you about. So it was really interesting to spend 3 weeks working in the memorial of the concentration camp. I learned a lot about history, about Second World War, and in a very nice way. So it was much more than an history class. It was an immersion in history. I could also improve my English and discover Berlin and Germany for the first time. I also want to finish by saying that I really appreciate the fact that our art projects have some continuation after that we made them. So, for example, my art project was mentioned in a scientific article on the subject. It was also part of an exhibition in the German parliament. And today, again, with this exhibition of a memorial for which I can record this video to continue to talk about this really important subject. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I wish you a very nice exhibition.